generally hard to find businesses that have been open more than 20 years, but it is uncommon in New York's craft beer scene. Many of the breweries we visit on this show opened in the last few years as part of the state's craft beer awakening. But when the Browns opened their tap room in 1994, brew pubs were a foreign concept to New Yorkers. Luckily, young people in the region embraced Brown's Brewing and flocked to this unique Troy destination for celebrations and first dates. Now, 24 years later, the Browns' business has grown by leaps and bounds, and their loyal customers have grown up with them. Their recent expansion, the Malt Room, caters to those lifelong patrons now looking for a more sophisticated craft beverage experience. What do you say we go inside and see what we can learn from the pros?
I'm Kelly Brown.
I'm Gary Brown. We're the owners of Brown's Brewing Company, and we've been in business here for 24 years.
My first experience with craft beer was through Gary.
I consider myself a 1980s home brewer, if you will, and that led to traveling mostly out to the West Coast because this is where the resurgence of craft brewing was happening. Experiencing what was going on out there was important to be able to start this project.
We found this beautiful old abandoned building in Troy, and he said, "I want to do this." And I said, "Okay, I'm with you."
People did think we were crazy. I think a lot of people didn't think we would even get the doors open, much less make it in business in Troy.
It was 1990, and no one had heard of, brew pubs here on the East Coast.
We may not have realized the extent of the risk, which I think maybe when you're younger, it's kind of a blessing that you don't know. Looking back, it's pretty impressive what we did manage to accomplish.
One reporter described us as a landmark, and it just hits me, and I'm so humbled by it. I'm so proud of the growth in Troy. Troy has such a rich history, being right on the beautiful, majestic Hudson River. That's really important to New York State.
Hopefully we helped open some eyes to people that eventually have come here to settle, either to live or open businesses or what have you. It's a great place to live. There have been a couple of beers that we just know we can't do without. Oatmeal Stout is one of them, and it's great to have a beer like that in a heavily IPA-flooded market, so it sets us apart a bit.
We have 2 tap rooms, one in Hoosick Falls and one in Troy. We have Revolution Hall, our event space, and we have this beautiful space, the Malt Room.
In 2012, we decided to build out this space and kind of work on our relevance going into our 20th year at that point by showing off what we can do through cask-produced beers and also fine liquors, wines, and things of that nature.
We have more than a handful of customers that have been with us from day one, and I love the Malt Room for the idea that a lot of them, the loud music that was really appealing to the younger days. Our music down here in the Malt Room is no louder than a conversation, so it allows people to enjoy both spaces for various reasons.
So Gary's going to tell me a little bit about cask beer. I'm sitting in front of a full pint of pale ale poured out of a carbonation-controlled traditional tap. And Gary, you're going to pour me another beer from the cask.
Okay. Right through this beer engine, drawing it from the cask below the bar.
How hard do you have to pull that thing?
Oh, not too hard. If I pull it too fast, I might put too much foam in it.
Yeah, and so you manually pumped that up. That is not pressured down below. You really pulled that beer up.
You're actually drawing it out of the cask, where this is being pushed by carbonation, by CO2, I should say, through the draft lines, through the faucet, and into your glass.
That is an amazing pour, and I can see in the head that there are larger bubbles, and it's dissipating a little more quickly.
Right, exactly.
And the temperature is a little different, so this is, ice cold out of your taps.
Yep.
And this one is cold, but not as cold.
Right, you're looking at about a 20-degree difference in temperature there, which is, again, a traditional way the beer would have been poured from the cellars of a London pub.
And even just that few degrees warmer, I'm getting so much aroma out of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell the flavor's gonna be big.
Yeah, temperature and beer have a huge impact on the aroma and the taste notes that you're gonna get from it.
You know, some bars will have a cask every once in a while sitting on top of the bar, but you have built in a temperature-controlled 3-handle system. I mean, someone can come here to historic Troy, New York, come to the malt room and have an authentic beer poured in the way it would have been poured 100 years ago.
But you're correct. I mean, Brown's Brewing is the 22nd brewery to operate in the city of Troy. Yeah, we were the first brewery to operate in 40 years when we came on board in 1993.
Wow. Gary, thank you so much for the information and the experience of getting to drink ale right out of the cask.
Yeah, thank you for coming. It's a pleasure to be able to show this off, and it's what makes it worth coming to work in the morning. Offering casks to me is just another adventure in brewing, and it allows our brewers to expand their horizons, and we present that to our customer.
We surround ourselves with the best positive group of people that we can surround ourselves with and try to do the best we can do. And at the end of the day, if you've done the best you could do for your customer, your employee, you know, just pick up a pint and celebrate that.
Cheers.
Cheers.